Hi there guys, I'm Lavana Faye and welcome to the beginning of my Rimworld series. This is going to be a tribal Bosmer playthrough. If you're not sure what the Bosmer are, they're a race from the Elder Scrolls game series. My full mod list will be in the description, but I want to go through a few of them with you now. First up, we've got the Forgotten Realms race mod. Unfortunately, the Bosmer race mod hasn't been updated for 1.3, or at least it hasn't at the time of recording. But the Forgotten Realms has basically the same races, so they'll be a good proxy for that. In the Forgotten Realms mod settings, I have disabled the races that we're not going to be using. So the ones that we have left enabled are the Tabaxi, which can be the Khajiit, the Orcs, which will be the Ozma, the Kobolds, which will be the Argonians, and the Elves. So the Dark Elves will be the Dunmer, the Moon Elves will be the Falmer, the Sun Elves will be the Altmer, and the Wood Elves are of course the Bosmer. I've also decided to leave in these. They're a sort of spider type race, but I thought they could proxy well for the Fallen Falmer. So we'll see how that turns out. I also have Rimworld of Magic, so that we can have our mage races and character classes. Rim of Madness Bones, because the Bosmer can't use wood as a building material, so they'll be using the bones from this mod as building materials instead. I'm using Vanilla Factions Expanded Medieval, mostly for the storyteller, who will limit the technological growth of the entire Rimworld to stay within the medieval sort of time period, which should help for the Elder Scrolls feel. I'm also going to be playing with BosmerRim Blood Moon. This does add another storyteller, but we won't be using that one. We'll be using the medieval one instead. This mod adds an event that will occur on a cycle, which I thought would make things a little bit more exciting and far closer to an actual Bosmer tribe. I'm also using Caravan Adventures, which should hopefully add a few more story elements to fill out our Bosmer's time as tribals. Okay, start a new game. Our base scenario is going to be Lost Tribe, but heavily modified. I've already created the custom scenario. This is going to be Lost Bosmer Tribe. I've removed most of our advantages, so no silver, no food, no medicine, and no building materials. All that they're going to start with is the weapons and a few pets. I've disabled incidents that don't seem to make sense for a medieval type of playthrough, and all of my characters will be starting out malnourished. Okay, let's choose our storyteller. Maynard Medieval. I'm going to put it on Strive to Survive, because our start is going to be so difficult anyway. I don't want to up the difficulty too far and then fail to deliver an enjoyable series. I've removed the factions that might be technologically advanced and added in a few more kingdoms and tribes. Renamed the world to Nern, set globe coverage to 100%, increased rainfall, slightly increased the temperature, and completely crowded it out. Okay, this is perfect. We're on a crossroads and there's quite a lot of enemies and a few friendlies nearby. So hopefully we'll be able to intercept a lot of caravans, and our movement speed wherever we go will be a lot higher. Okay, the Green Pact. If anyone is familiar with the Bosmer, you'll know that the Green Pact was a promise made between the Bosmer and their god Ifre. This promise forbade them from harming trees or plant life in any way, and they became completely carnivorous. They're also not allowed to modify their bodies, and anything that they kill needs to be consumed within 3 days. Our gods are Hircine, god of the hunt, and Ifre. We have a strict meat-eating precept, a strong Guaranlan tree connection, completely prohibited tree cutting, abhorrent body modification, prohibited drug use, respected raiding because they are quite territorial, desired trees, and ranching as central precept. So we're going to have to rear our own animals to eat and to use as a fighting force should we go raiding. I've made insect meat loved because it's another form of meat and we've already got so many restrictions on their diets. Rough living is welcomed, which means that they won't be requiring bedrooms each, a table to eat off, or even a roof over their heads. I've made execution respected if guilty, because we won't really be taking that many prisoners, and I'd like a way to get rid of them if I need to, particularly if we're running short of food. Female and male clothing restriction is the same. We don't really care about ocular trees. Cannibalism has been accepted. Biosculpting is despised. Fungus is despised. I don't care about corpses, but blindness is horrible. I decided to make diversity of thought moderate bigotry because they are quite isolated. They won't eat nutrient paste. Normal research. I didn't want to restrict it anymore, but I also didn't want to give it any kind of boost. Scarification is horrible. Skull spikes are desired, so that'll be something to scatter around the forest. Slavery is unfortunately acceptable because the only other option was honourable. The Bosmer did support the Alessian revolt, so I had to use the lowest setting available. But I can't get any lower because of the Raider precept. Hopefully that won't be a problem. Free physical love. Acceptable organ use, so long as they are completely biological. Women's and men's spouses of one only. And marriage name is random. My leader is going to be a root chief with a tribal headdress. My moral guide is going to be called a tree speaker, and they're going to have beads. My melee specialist is called a berserker, and they require a deer skull. And my shooting specialist is called a shot slinger, and they require a tail cap. My funeral is called Barky Inhumation. I do have a Christmas tree party, which could be a problem because I can't build the Christmas tree without wood, but I might be able to trade for it, so we'll have to see how that goes. I've set it for December just to give us a long time to actually acquire that wood. And the Christmas tree party is called Hersine's Jubilee. Social festival is Party of Faith, which can start at any time. Our Sky Lantern festival is a sturdy fiesta for Jugust. And we also have a gladiator duel, the Duel of Raiding. So should we have any prisoners or slaves, we might make them battle it out. Ritual seat is a knee pillow. A small altar is Hersine's shrine. And we have our Christmas tree, the Tree of Faith. We have 3 relics, and I've made Neolithic weapons noble and Ultratech despised. But no one should be able to attain Ultratech. It's just in case anybody manages to get their hands on it. So most people will have noble weapons in our eyes, which might make relations a little bit easier with non-hostile factions. Our venerated animals are the Overgrown Colossus and the Anima Colossus, which are both added by alpha animals. The Bosmer live in migratory trees, and these animals are the closest that we can get to a moving forest. So it seemed apt. Everybody gets a poncho, and yeah, that's the Green Pact. I'm going to use Prepare Carefully. Okay, meet the team. If you're familiar with the Elder Scrolls series, Oblivion or Skyrim, you will recognise a few of these names, I'm sure. We have Ardwin, who is our shaman, and her main skill is medical. She's a xenophobe, so she's not going to like other races, and a menagerist, so that is going to give a boost to any taming that we do. And the 4th trait that all of them have will just be their sexuality. Ardwin was a wandering priestess in Skyrim. She'd come to Whiterun after the Gildergreen quest was finished. Next up is Elrondir and Honoriath, a pair of brothers who run the Drunken Huntsman in Whiterun. Elrondir has burning passion in animals, but his main skill is social. I've made him a bard to help with trade prices and negotiation. He's a hard worker. He would always be telling his brother off for running off into the woods instead of going to work. Honoriath would spend most of his time at the meat stall in the market of Whiterun. He is a hunter, and his main skill is shooting, with a little skill in cooking and animals. I've made him ascetic because he did prefer a simpler way of life, and quite a fast walker to show that he's familiar with the forests, since we will be starting in a tropical rainforest. Next is Glarthir. Glarthir is from Oblivion. He's very neurotic and vengeful, and a brawler, so his main skill is melee, with a little bit of cooking skill. The unstable butcher backstory just fit. Lastly is Methradel. Methradel is also from Oblivion. She was one of the 3 hopefuls trying to get into the Thieves Guild. I've made her a Faceless, which is a melee magic user, and a brawler. I've also increased her mana flow with Arcane Conduit. Her main skill is melee, but she also has some intellectual skills so that we can get some research done. The only relationships we have is Elrondir and Honoriath, who are brothers. Our random animal was a husky. Let's get started. The attack came at night. The Thalmor swept through your village, cutting and burning your people with their blades and mage fire. Only a few of you escaped the purge. Now, after a long and harrowing journey, you've finally lost your pursuers. It's time to take stock of your situation and plan your revenge. Okay. We'll get rid of map reroll. Yes, I want to keep this map regardless of what it is. First thing we want to do, set manual priorities. Okay, we want her to be mining. We want Gladia to cook. I want Adwin and Elrindir to be hunting. And Noriath. I'll have him hunt as well, but have cook as his secondary. Okay. Yeah. Put all of these to 1, so that they'll always do them. And I'll remove these crafting and art ones. Okay, stick on these, because we do want them to learn something. Okay, now we want to be hunting some food, because all of our pawns are malnourished. We'll switch that on. If you right click on this, it means that your character will use it whenever he needs to, instead of just when you tell him to. So, what do we want? We'll want to try and tame that manticore, so we'll leave that. I think we'll get rid of these monkeys. Yeah. I'm thinking I might want to tame these boars as well. So we need some animals for ranching, and we also want to get some for bolstering our numbers for raiding. So yeah, we'll just let them kill the monkeys first. So pick up your weapons. Gladia, grab your axe. Where's Mithridel's Gladius? There it is. Okay. Right. One thing that we're going to want to do quite quickly is our food restrictions. So we want to set a new food restriction. And this is because our carnivore-only diet means that if they go foraging for anything, because they're starving, so they might go foraging, they'll go for berries or apples or something, and they'll end up with a huge negative debuff for eating a non-meat. So we need to go through these and remove anything that isn't meat. So just clear all, throw on our carnivore meals. I'm not going to select simple meals. I know they can be created with only 1 ingredient, but if we go raiding, or if anyone from outside the colony drops their meals on this map, then they might go and eat it, and it might be made with like corn or potatoes or something, so we can't control what simple meals are made of. So there's no need to risk it. Might put meat on, animal products, yes, but no vegetarian stuff, and no honey, because it's nectar. It's not animal based, not really. In drugs, we're going to put on cannibal coffee from Vanilla Brewing Expanded Coffees and Teas, and also rot meth. Rot meth is an actual Bosmer drink, and it's a separate mod that I've downloaded just for a bit of flavour for the Bosmer, since they can't have any other type of alcoholic drink. Rot myth is created from fermented meat, so perfectly okay for a Bosmer to consume. I don't think we need any more of these. Right, I will turn on all corpses, but I'll remove colonist corpses because we don't want them to eat their own. But everything else is fine. And we're going to call this the Green Pact restriction. Okay. Give that to everybody. And now I don't need to worry about them foraging for mushrooms or anything else. Okay, let's have a look at this map. What have we got here? Uranium. We won't be using that, so that's not very useful. We don't seem to have anything that stands out over here. Compacted steel. Compacted steel. Volcanic glass. Now this is from another BosmerRim mod. Glass and ebony. So you might see nodes of ebony and glass around the map. Those are resources from the Elder Scrolls series. I think there's adamantium as well that I've got. So you might see that as well. If we're lucky. We're not. Nope, just got more compacted steel. And I doubt we're going to do anything with compacted machinery. Except maybe mine it to sell it. Maybe. Okay. Let's throw down some spots. Butchering spots. And we want to have a butcher creature job going forever. And just drop it on the floor. We want to put on all corpses except colonist corpses. Okay. And we'll copy that. Paste it over to the other spot. Alright, so that should give Glathier and Noria something to do. Yep. And when they've done that, they can try taming this manticore. Okay, just fiddled with my settings. Hopefully that looks better. Alright. We're going to set up, I think, somewhere, yeah, in this corner. We'll have a natural barrier all the way to the edge of the map. Here. And we'll just be able to put down a wall connecting them. We'll also be able to put our anima tree up here somewhere. I have the replantable anima tree mod, so we'll be able to extract that and put it high up in the corner, hopefully. Although I'm not sure how it'll react to being close to the map edges. This is the first time I'm going to be playing with it, so hopefully replanting works fine. So I'll have them extract that. And hopefully they'll have some food. I might turn this into a miniature stockpile. just while they're here. I'll be able to change this when they eventually get somewhere better to go. Probably turn this into my stockpile instead. Who is my best handler? Entertainer. Interesting. I'm sure I chose Bard. Entertainer. And you're supposed to be a huntsman. A hunter. Why are you a woodsman? At least you're still faceless. What? You're a shaman. Entertainer. Whatever. That mod might be a little bit temperamental. It's Rimworld of Magic that adds these in. I'm not sure why they've changed. Can you get it? Or are you going to be attacked? Generation ships and aliens. I'm sure it's going to love that. Oh, no, apparently it did. Okay. Why not? This manticore understands aliens. Nice. Okay, I'll throw down some sleeping spots. Which, it doesn't really matter where they go, since their rough living precept means that they don't require shelter. Huh, okay. We also have some dead people. Oh, we've got coffins on the map. Okay. So, it wants us to do funerals for these people? We don't know them, do they? No. Those are the animals. No, so why do we need to do a funeral for these people? Are these the people who didn't come with us from character creation? No, because there'd be 3 of them. What? Anyway, Baki Inhumation is our funerals. So apparently we have 3 days before we start getting negatives. So we don't need to do that right now. Make sure everybody's eaten. Which not everybody has, unfortunately. And again, there were only monkeys. Get some alpacas as well. And if we need to, we'll take out the rats. See what else comes on the map. Let's try taming some of these boars as well. We do want a fighting force. Oh yes, need to turn on your training. I don't have anything that needs to go in a pen yet, do I? No. And we have 63 bones. So whenever an animal is butchered now, because of the bone mod, they'll drop a certain amount of bones, and we will be able to turn those into structures. Now, anything that we could create with wood, we can now create with bone. But there's also this bone wall, which actually has a custom appearance. So that should be very nice. Okay, so we want as much room as we can get, but we also have to avoid these marshes. So this is going to be awkward. A door there. So we'll have some cover from the road, but we'll be facing the crossroads. That looks terrible. I would have preferred to go straight across, but unfortunately, all this marsh won't let me. See if we can straighten this up a little. Well, by straighten it up, I mean zigzag it a little bit more. No. Looks a little bit better. Maybe I should have gone round this way. I mean, the more territory I have, the better. It doesn't look like we're going to have any other steam geysers around. So this may actually need to be a part of our area. Part of our home area. We don't have enough bone yet to complete this wall. Ah, there it is. Now we'll replant the anima tree. See how far into the corner we can get it. All the way. Do I want it to go all the way though? Like, put it down here somewhere. Yeah, because there's be too much marsh around, so the anima grass won't work. Okay. And you're making a start on the wall, that's good. Alright. What else have we got to kill? Get rid of these rats. Might get rid of the cassowary as well. Yeah, we can't tame them because we don't have any plants. So they're just food. Food waiting to be consumed. So I've gone for this wall instead of just going for a regular looking wall made of bones, because this regular wall doesn't have as many hit points. It only has 120. Whereas this wall has 200. It's still not a lot, but it's more than we'd have otherwise. Eventually we'll probably just repurpose these walls that are scattered around the map and use those as our perimeter wall. Which there aren't that many actually on this map. Yeah. Just steel. Luckily we won't be using steel for much else. So if we just put the steel wall here, maybe a little bit down here, we can have them funnel into here. So I might just extend this further down. That way we can have this steam geyser. And because we won't be able to build all the way to the end, they might just come straight round here instead of attacking our walls altogether. So they'll just cut that out completely. And we'll be able to put all our defences out in the open. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be a problem. I'll have to come all the way out here instead. If it's going to be a funnel, we'll want to at least funnel them. So, this is going to be more of a compound, an open air compound as well. Since we can't do a regular room for everybody complex, particularly not with rough living, because they really don't want to be separated from the trees, so this is the best we're going to be able to do. So we'll have a room as a stockpile, which we might have to move depending on where the anima tree's borders end up. So we might end up moving it down here somewhere. Which again should draw the raiders, or the raiding parties, around this area. Now, because we can't use herbal medicine, as per the Green Pact, no plants can be consumed or used, grown, cut, anything like that. So we have no herbal medicine, we can't use any type of medicine. We have instead this totem of healing from our shaman and a cactipine, and the cactipine creates medicinal quills. Oh sweet, Gladia's on a melee frenzy. That's nice. Should anything attack us in the next 8 days, we'll be ready. Could just throw him at it. Anyway, the cactipine grows medicinal quills. They actually grow quite quickly, don't they? Maybe 1 per day. So assuming nobody gets hurt, we might be able to get a reasonable stockpile. Particularly if we just use Ardwin's totem. And just for our injuries, we can take a stockpile of quills should we go out raiding. So that should be alright. But it'll also help in case Ardwin is taken down. So we'll have the quills to bring her back out with. So that's good. We do have our bases covered. Okay, we still have things to kill, don't we? Yes, a few rats. Bed bugs. Ooh. Snuggy. Snuggy the wag. Nice one. Okay, Snuggy's got his breakfast. And the husky's Rio. And my cactipine is called Sinbad. Why not? So where is my other... Glavia is on him. What's it called? Justice. Justice the Wag. Nice. I might want to take on some of these elephants. Just for the for the bones, because they'll have a lot of bones. Ooh. We can train our magic. Okay. So, the skill that I prefer to upgrade first for the totems is Totem Bearer, because it reduces the mana cost that the totem requires. So in an engagement, I've noticed that we can only get maybe 2 totems off in a fight, particularly if the fight starts running on quite long. So I like to reduce the costs so that we can hopefully get more totems off. I don't really care about the durability, because I'm mostly going to be using the healing totems, and that'll be behind our lines, so enemies will attack us before it attacks the totem. So I'll increase this first, and then I'll go on to Totem Master to increase the power and range. She also has Enrage and Hex. I've not really used Enrage. I think it works on anyone, whether they're an enemy or not. So just to send them into a berserker sort of rage. Hex, I'm not sure about. Yeah, I'm not sure. Could be a random problem. Yeah. I don't really use anything like this. I mostly just use these shamans for the totems. I wouldn't mind Chain Lightning, because that does seem like it would be a good spell. But I also don't want to spread her too thin, since she's going to be our main healer. So she's just gonna focus on the totems. We do have a point. Now he was a bard, so he is a bard. Yeah. So why is he all of a sudden an entertainer? What does this mean? Why did it change from bard to entertainer? He doesn't even know entertaining. I think I'm gonna have to have a look on the mod page. There's probably some sort of post about this. But anyway, it requires 2 points to increase his bard training. Oh, alright, okay, maybe that's it. He starts off as entertainer, and then he'll become a performer, then a minstrel, then a bard. So, will that change as his level goes up? I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, inspiration is always active, that's good. So, playwright. He can cause inspirations, so like Gladia's melee frenzy. He can make that more likely to appear. That's cool. May cause common inspirations. Level 1 may cause resource frenzy inspirations. Level 2 may cause learning and social inspirations. And level 3 may cause heroic inspirations for magic or might classes. That's cool. Increase how often the bard will attempt to inspire fellow colonists. Ooh, I don't know. So Lullaby projects an emotionally soothing wave that washes away concerns and consciousness that can put any creatures in the target area to sleep. That seems really good. Increases chance Lullaby is effective by 10% per skill point. I might need to increase that. Increase its effectiveness. Yeah. Ordinarily I'd go for the mana cost, but I think the percent chance that it'll actually work might be a more fitting thing to increase first. So we'll go for that. How are you doing? Thank you. So, a few of these bed bugs have been attacked already. That's good. Bitten off by a chinchilla. A chinchilla killed it. Alright. Let's just get rid of all these bed bugs because that's gross. Give them something to do as well. Stop the beastly chinchillas from taking over. Oh good, my anima tree's been planted. Alright. Oh good, and it misses that. Excellent. Alright. So these sleeping spots don't affect the anima tree in any way, but if we replace them with bedrolls, then the bedroll will affect the anima tree. Because it is technically a man-made item. Even though it's made from leathers, it's still technically man-made. So if it's within that area, it will affect them. So I'm probably going to have to move my sleeping area over. So I might put that down by the stockpile. Yeah. I will want to remove some of these as well. I'll just deconstruct these things. We're not going to care about them. So I'm thinking, throughout the forested area here, if I get an art spot, I can just create like totems and sculptures and just dot them around the forest. I mean, they'll deteriorate probably, but yeah, I think it'd be nice. It'd be like wandering through a forest and discovering a lost civilization. So that would be cool. I don't need a pen for my bow. Interesting. Guess it's just regular bows that need a pen. What have we got here? Insect meat. That'll be from the bed bugs. We don't have a lot of meat, actually. So I think we are going to have to take out an elephant or something. It's a shame. I always feel terrible taking out these big creatures. But it has to be done. Okay, and we need them to actually get some of this work done. So I'm going to have to up his construction priority. I think Gladia can handle the cooking, so I do want him to keep training the hunting skill as well. It's just going to have to say no. Do you think... could we make sandbags? I don't think we could. Oh, we can make bone barricades. Alright. That's decent. But that should be fine. So we'll want to probably make it somewhere down here. Something like that. Just so that they don't get too much of an advantage from this corner. Yeah. Bone traps as well. That's going to be interesting. I doubt they're going to do much damage, but what damage would they even do? 80. That's not bad. I don't know what a regular one would do, since I can't use wood. I don't have any, so I can't go back. The 80 is decent. 80 is very good. It's respectable. We can't have them side by side. Unfortunately. Doing all this work and then you just know that they'll go for the door over here. Yeah, all there. But we'll just have to double up our walls over here to encourage them. Alright. I think that's it for this episode. We've started on our base. Got everything going smoothly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.